Bhanudadhi Navashashilekhe Lalita Shaki Guna Ramita Bishakhe Vrishabhanudadhi Navashashilekhe Lalita Shaki Guna Ramita Bishakhe Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Shanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Karunamai Karunam Kurumai Karuna Bharite Shanaka Sanatana Varnita Charite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite Gokula Taruni Mandala Mohite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite Madhava Daite Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharne Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarne Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namashrishtam Manumapi Shattiputramatra Swarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Urupurim Mathurim Goshavartim Radha Kundam Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Ataf Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakar Vitamscha Guru Vaishnava Bhagavan Tine Smarane Hoy Vigna Vinasham Anayashi Hoy Nijavan Chita Puran Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vishnu Sahasranam, name 928, Rakshana. Maybe some of you can understand the meaning. Rakshana means the protector. Raksha, Krishna, Rakshama, Rama Raghava Rakshama. And that means protection. So, who protects us is called Rakshana. The demoniac attitude is to think, I'm in control. I'm powerful. I did it my way. I'm on top of everything. The sane attitude, the devotional attitude, is to realize that I am very, very small. I need protection. And turn to Krishna, who is our ultimate protector. Who in this world can protect us? Prahlad Maharaj, the son of Hiranyakashipu. Naturally, the son looks to the parents for protection, especially the father. But in the case of Prahlad, from the very outset, he rejected his father practically as being a father at all, because he was a demon. And Prahlad, although officially a demon, or categorized among the demons, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, what is that? What is that? Daityanam praladasaham. Something like Praladosmi, yes. Among the demons I am Prahlad. But in rejecting the protection of Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad became the object of the wrath of Hiranyakashipu. And he, being a demon, he was by nature angry. Very fearful anger, even to the demigods. But Prahlad wasn't in the slightest bit perturbed, knowing the truth that you're going to have to look this up because I won't remember the whole verse. Balasya neha sharanang pitaro nrsimha. Now tasya chagadam udanvati majjatau. No. Taptasya tat trividhir. Pratividhir. Yeah. Here, give it to me. I didn't put it in my preparation, but it just came to my mind now. Balasya neya sharanang pitaro nrsimha nartasya chagadam udanvati majjato. No, taptasya tat pratividhir yahihanja seshtas tavad vibho tanubritang tvadupekshitanam. Prahlad, praying to Nrsimhadev, says that the parents, pitaro, means father and mother, cannot, in this world, neha, in this world, they cannot give protection to the child. And one who is afflicted in a boat on the sea, he cannot be protected by the boat. You may think the boat is very good, but it's no guarantee. Or medicine cannot protect someone who is destined to suffer and die. These things cannot protect one as long as one does not take shelter, as long as one is neglectful of Vibho. He's addressing Nrsimhadev as you who are the actually powerful one. So as long as one doesn't identify as the servant of Nrsimhadev, then no other arrangement can actually protect us. In India, we find all over the country advertisements for LIC. Every middle-class person knows what LIC is, Life Insurance Corporation of India. And they have they use that motto. What is it? Do they use it? Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. They use that. I don't know if any, previously when Life Insurance Corporation was India was founded, many people would know what that means, but nowadays they don't. But Krishna says, yoga kshemam, what people need to perform their activities, I provide. So the promise is that the insurance corporation will do it. So it's typical atheism. Indian style mixture of piety and atheism. It must have been an ayah who thought that up. Really, it's typical of the South Indian smarters. They'll take something from Shastra and put it in a completely atheistic, mundane context. And to them it seems spiritual. We have to be protected by Krishna. He's our ultimate protector. Sometimes devotees go through many dangers and difficulties, like Prahlad, like the Pandavas, like Kunti, like Ambarish, like Dhruva Maharaj. The list goes on and on and on. But they all kept faith in Krishna, who ultimately protected them. One of the devotees mentioned in Bhagavatam, who was ultimately protected by Krishna, is Gajendra. And this whole series of names we're going through in Vishnu Sahasranam is being commented upon by both Baladev Vidyabhushan and prior to him Parashara Bhatta in terms of Bhagavan Narayana protecting Gajendra. So this name fits very fittingly, very appropriately, very aptly. Rakshana, the elephant, Gajendra, thought himself the protector of the other elephants in the herd. That's why he's called Gajendra, the king of the elephants. But a much smaller animal caused him so much difficulty. When he was first caught by the crocodile, maybe he didn't take it very seriously because he thought, well, I'm the big boss around here. It's just some little reptile. Elsewhere in his commentaries, Parashara Bhatta refers to that crocodile as a keet, like an insect. That's in relation to Bhagavan. But in relation to Gajendra, he was more powerful than Gajendra thought. And Gajendra, for 1,000 celestial years, was trying with his considerable might to free himself from the crocodile, but couldn't. And in the end, he turned to Krishna. And there are many examples of this. Draupadi trying to protect herself from the attack of Dushasana by holding her cloth. Her protectors, her husbands, who are supposed to be her protectors, being bound by Yudhishthira's maybe misunderstanding of dharma, at least. Bhima took it to be a misunderstanding, was unable to protect them. And not only her husbands, but all respectable people. Dhritarashtra, Bhishma, Vidura was there unprotested, but no one listened to him as usual. They should have protected her, but they would not protect her, and ultimately Krishna protected her. So this name is very apt in relation to many devotees, actually all devotees. That's one of the symptoms of being a devotee. Rakshishati Vishvaso, to have faith that Krishna will protect me. And particularly we're calling to mind the pastime of Bhagavan Narayana protecting Gajendra, because it's in a whole series of names which are being commented upon in relation to the deliverance of Gajendra. Shankaracharya explains the name Sattvam Gunam Adhishtaya Jagatrayam Rakshana iti Rakshanaha, who, being situated in the mode of goodness, of course he's Shuddha Sattva, but this is after all Shankaracharya commenting, protects all the three worlds, should be known as Rakshana. He protects especially his devotees, just as parents protect their children. All protective functions in this world, the parents to the children, the king to the subjects, the guru to the disciples, all the functions of protecting spring from him. He's the ultimate protector. It's his very nature to protect, just like the parents, they don't go through a whole rational, logical, mental process to think why they're protecting their children. In fact, if they did, they probably wouldn't protect them. If we think completely philosophically and we understand that actually I have no particular relationship with this child, just like we see the son of Chitraketu, when he was called back to life by Narad Muni, he said, "Here's your father." He said, "Well, which father? I had so many fathers, I had so many births and so many fathers." So philosophically, if we think about it, then we can understand who is our father in this world, who is our mother, who is our child. These are all illusory relationships in as much as they are temporary, and without proper understanding they bind us to this world. With proper understanding we can understand minimally that I've given birth to this child, so it's my duty to protect. Or if Vaishnava parents think this child is sent by Krishna, so I have to raise this child in Krishna consciousness. But mostly parents don't think like that. They just, it's automatically. You see, even the animals, not all of them, some animals eat their own children. Some snakes eat their own children. But even the dog, the bitch, the male doesn't care, but the mother looks after the child, even at great risk. If a snake attacks the puppies, then the bitch will, at great risk to herself, try to chase off the snake, risking her own life for this. She doesn't think why. This protection propensity originates in the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In Tiruvayamoli, Narmalava stresses that it is the very nature of Bhagavan to protect. Yeah. Anyone, if we see a small child and there seems to be some danger, then even if it's not our own child, it'll be and naturally we'll want to do something to protect. It just springs naturally from our consciousness. The scientists may like to say, well, it's because of some chemicals in our brains or whatever, but to hell with them. It's our nature to want to protect. It's not just some chemicals in the brain. It may be that you can map that function according to chemicals or electric synapses in the brain, but the root cause of that mentality or that mental function is that we partake of the nature of God in very small quantity, and we naturally feel that impulse to protect as far as we can those who require protection. Namalava points out that not only is it his nature to protect, but he also performs the functions of creation and destruction. Generally we hear of Brahma as being the creator, Vishnu the maintainer and protector, maintenance and protection. They're very intimately linked. And destruction we think of Lord Shiva. But Namalava points out that actually it's Lord Vishnu doing all these by empowering Brahma and Shiva, and by being their director, he inspires them to do so. And these functions they're also directed ultimately toward the protection of the jivas, because destroying a worn-out body of a conditioned soul means destruction is followed by creation. They get a new body so that they can, if you're in the body of a worm, when that body it's time for it to die out, then you get a new body, whatever according to your karmic destiny, you get another body. So it's all to bring one to the point of the human body, so that one can go up in the or make progress. I was talking about that, how human life is meant for making progress. So destruction and creation, they're also his act of protection, but particularly he keeps the portfolio of protection personally for himself. He delegates that function, the functions of creation and destruction, to others, but protection he does himself. And the acharyas explain that he has to protect Lakshmi, and he can't delegate that to anyone else. He has to do that himself, and so he takes that on for all the. He takes that function on for all the jivas. Protection is the motive for his taking so many avatars, as he states in Bhagavad Gita. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashayata dushkritam dharma samsthapanartaya sambhavami yuga yuga. For the uplift of the saintly people. That means protecting them. For the destruction of the wicked. Why destroy the wicked? That's to protect the saintly. And to protect dharma by re-establishing it. Krishna says, I manifest age after age. What is that in Manu Samhita? Dharma rakshati rakshitaha. Those who protect dharma, they are protected by dharma. So this protection, and dharma ultimately, who protects dharma by living according to dharma, or the kings who protect dharma, or the rishis who protect dharma by establishing the proper understanding of Dharma, and defeating the wrong understandings, the misunderstandings of Dharma. They are protected by Dharma. Dharma is ultimately Vishnu himself. So in the Paritranaya Sadhunam, this is stressing that for the purpose of protection, he comes. He can do it through others. He does it through others also. But he personally comes. Yeah, he does it through others. He does it through the king. He does it through the parents. He does it through the brahmanas, Vaishnavas, gurus, and he personally comes. Considering the name Rakshana, considering we are incapable, we need protection, therefore we have to pray to Krishna for protection. We also have to take the responsibility given to us for protecting. As sub-protectors, within our very small sphere of activities, we have the duty to protect others. Again, as a parent, it's considered that one who is born, he's born, immediately one is born with a debt. To the parents, to the forefathers, and that debt is discharged by serving the elderly parents, offering pinda to the forefathers, and having children to perpetuate the process. That is how the debt is discharged. Of course, if one takes full shelter of Krishna, then all such considerations are nullified, but otherwise we all have the duty to protect to the extent that we have the ability. An example is given of a tree. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the example, actually Krishna gives the example of the tree, and Krishna gives the example of a tree speaking to Balaram, that how the trees, they give shelter to others, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu incorporates this into his famous verse, Tarariva Sahishnaya, one should be tolerant like a tree. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu explains how from the tree we can learn not only tolerance, but Jai Jai Mage Tare De Apantan Karma Brishti Shahe Ane Kare Rakon. Whatever people want, whoever comes to take, the tree allows to take, gives. Every part of the tree is used, the fruits, the flowers, the twigs can be used for brushing teeth in some cases. The leaves can be used in various ways. Some leaves are used for making roof thatch, some are used for eating. Then the bark of the tree can have medicinal purposes. Some tree bark can be used for making clothing. The wood of the tree can be used in so many ways. The tree lives to serve, and one of the functions is that protection. To protect others from heat and rain, the tree itself has to suffer the heat and the rain, but doesn't complain. A protector gives shelter to others. The example is given of the tree. Hare Krishna. Any question on this? If there's any question on this, please ask, and then I know that I left some time because there are questions on other topics also. So please.
Hare Krishna. Maharaj, can it be said that Although Krishna can employ his energies to protect his devotees, he comes personally because of affection for them.
Of course, yeah.
Then if that is the understanding, why in certain cases like Draupadi did he not come personally to protect her?
Why didn't he come to Draupadi? Because he was engaged fighting Shalva over in Dwarka. Of course, he could expand himself, but he has his Leela also. And there are other reasons how, just by that instance demonstrated how he is non-different from his name. By calling out the name of Krishna, she was protected. Govinda, Govinda, Govinda. How Krishna can act even without being personally present, he protects his devotees. There are so many things. And by his leelas, they're not always understandable according to what we think he should do. He has his own way of doing things, and everything he does demonstrates his inconceivable potencies and his inconceivable love for his devotees.
Jai.
So any more questions on this? Otherwise we'll... Okay, over to other questions. So this will be another session. Okay, I got a question in an email which I'll read. When by the mercy of the Guru a disciple experiences detachment from the extreme influence of the material energy. Detachment, I guess the word is, relief from the extreme influence of the material energy within the heart, and as a result experiences joy and peace. What more can one do to increase the attachment to Krishna when one realizes his position in relation to the material world? Is reading and chanting enough to increase that feeling of separation? I think I'm getting a bit mixed up with the words here. Separation from the influence of the modes of nature. We could use the word separation, but because we use that term, at least in English, Srila Prabhupada has used that term to mean a feeling of separation in love from Krishna. That oh no, I'm getting free from Maya. Oh, I had such a long-standing relation with Maya. So it's a bit of an unusual choice of words. Is there more I can do to increase my faith? There are many questions in this genre of how to make advancement in Krishna consciousness, how to be more sincere, how to be more dedicated. In this case, how to increase. If I'm feeling some sense of detachment from the material energy, although don't be too confident of being free from Maya's influence, how can I increase my attachment to Krishna? The answer is the same pretty much in every case. Follow the process of devotional service. If there's some particular quality that you wish to imbibe, then associate with devotees who have that quality as far as you can. Meditate on devotees who have that quality. Pray to Krishna. That's the general answer. Now, the point, associate with devotees who inspire you because they have that quality. In this case, developing attachment to Krishna. Oh, that will come if we go on hearing, chanting, remembering, serving, especially in the association of devotees. Then gradually everything will come in due course of time. Now, he says, I lack proper devotee association, even though I am surrounded by devotees every day. It is hard for me to talk about Krishna. And what I am feeling, I feel alone in the company of devotees. I now relish the association of Srila Prabhupada through his books and lectures. I also feel pleasure in listening to my Guru Maharaj's lectures. He's a disciple of Kadamba Swami, and your teachings. Is this healthy though for my Krishna conscious growth, not having like-minded devotees in physical association? It's hard to say without knowing the exact circumstances you're in. I have been in this situation myself, where for months on end I was with devotees who are devotees, but not, you could say, at the level of commitment that I would have preferred them to be. Not very committed to giving up sense gratification, or rising early, and so on. So I did find it hard. It may be that you're in such association. One time, one devotee was in Vrindavan. That time there were just very few devotees in Vrindavan. It was very, very difficult in so many ways. The temple construction of Krishna Balaram temple hadn't even begun. So one devotee wrote to Srila Prabhupada and said that I don't want to stay here, I don't like the association, devotees are not very Krishna conscious, and I want good association. Prabhupada said, you become that good association and uplift others. That's a challenge. In conclusion, reading from his mail, in conclusion, how do we find a devotee association like the one from Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's book, Jaiva Dharma? My heart is filled with joy and happiness when I hear the wonderful exchanges from these elevated devotees. I hanker for such deliberations, or am I too over my head and I need to just relax? The topic of Krishna warms the heart. Yeah, we read in Jaiva Dharma, we read in the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so many elevated devotees. Sheshangana Paya Kande Narottamadas. Narottamadas is lamenting that he couldn't get the association of such devotees, but then he had the association of Srinivasa and Shyamananda, and even when they returned from Vrindavan, they had to go to different places for preaching, but Narottam was in the association of Ramachandra Kabiraj, so he had very good association. Again and again in his songs, Narottam praise for the association of Ramchandra Kabiraj. So if we can get the association of very elevated devotees, that is a great boon in our lives. Otherwise we can associate with them by hearing about them, studying about them, praying to them. We can pray to devotees in Chaitanya Lila. We can remember them. That will help us. Good association is undoubtedly very important in devotional advancement. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, we find, what is that? Bhakti Mool Hoy. What is that? Krishna Bhakti Janma Mool Hoy Sadhu Sangha Krishna Bhakti Janme Tabu Mukhya Bhakti Anga. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that the very root of devotion to Krishna is the association of devotees. And even when one has attained devotion to Krishna, that still remains essential, having association. So it may be in some cases some devotees will, if they're in a position to do so, they may change their situation to get association, or remaining in their present situation, they may associate as best they can through hearing, through studying books, by remembering. Nowadays we have the internet whereby we can hear different devotees' talks. It's quite common now, it's become part of life in ISKCON that there are we have Shravan Kirtan camps, or there are Bhakti Sangha, there are different get-togethers of devotees, and especially in the upcoming Kartik month, many devotees will go to Vrindavan, and there'll be parikramas. So these are to enhance one's devotional association, especially if one is in a situation whereby you can't get that association so much in your normal life. Most devotees in ISKCON nowadays, they're working in some jobs with non-devotees, and they come together once a week. Actually, we should, or preferably, we should be in association with devotees all the time. Srila Prabhupada, he wrote that one of the reasons he made temples, he made this society, is to provide devotee association. These farm communities also are meant for providing devotee association for grihastas, so they don't have to live in the association of non-devotees simply to earn money. So exactly this circumstances we're in, they will differ in different cases. But definitely it's a principle as far as possible to get good association. And if we're not so fortunate to be in a situation where we are with devotees, or with devotees who are very seriously practicing Krishna consciousness, then we have to adjust as best we can. And by reading, hearing, attending various devotional get-togethers and so on. I can answer that as best I can, because I don't know the particular circumstances. Then, yeah, you also have a question? You wanted to ask me a question yesterday? The question vanished, or you got the answer in your mind, or what? He's shy to answer the question. Because you had a question, I thought I should keep time for some questions.
Okay. So, in the story you read on Radhastami, you said about like
Put the mic up a bit.
with Lalita and Radharani. You said that Lalita, at the end she knew, she was like joking with Krishna, with saying that they knew all along, her and like Radharani.
Well, they didn't know all along, but it became apparent toward the end of the story.
Okay, so that was the question. I didn't know, like, she knew the whole time.
That's how I understand it.
Okay.
Okay. Huh?
He's apologized for asking the question.
Hare Krishna Guru Maharaj. In a lecture, Srila Prabhupada, or in an address to his disciples, he makes the concession that you only need to be 70% Krishna conscious to go back to Godhead. I was wondering what that would look like exactly.
I don't know. I don't know that quote either. I always used to say 100%. Maybe someone devalued it down to 70%. There may be, sometimes Srila Prabhupada said you have to be fully Krishna conscious. If you have a pinch of material desire, you have to take birth again. Frightening, isn't it? Maybe once he gave some statement that he'll, if there's anything lacking, he'll make up for it, something like this. I can't remember exactly. 70%, and then, okay, 62, 63, 64. I made it up to 70%. Okay, now we can go and eat an ice cream. That's in the 30%, right? I'll keep my 30%. If we think like that, then We're not likely to make it. Baskin Robbins. It's all vegetarian, right? Maybe, I don't know. I've never gone to a Baskin Robbins shop. Never been inside one. 50% of my life is wasted. Is it? I don't know. I don't know. Haven't tried it. Yeah.
Maharaj, one may pose an argument that because Kali Yuga is progressing so quickly and so rapidly, and society is becoming so degraded, why should one waste their time, working in the field, digging up the grass? Rather, one should just invest all of your efforts and resources and strategies in distributing Srila Prabhupada's books.
Why have farms? Why work hard on a field? Why not just distribute books? But why not just go to Vrindavan and chant Hare Krishna? Why distribute books? Save yourself, right? Why work on farms? Well, one reason is because the great empowered Acharya Srila Prabhupada wanted that. That's one answer. You'll get his blessings by doing that. Of course, he didn't just tell us to work on the field, but to do it for Krishna, consciously for Krishna. But he wanted these communities established because not everyone's going to have that immediate urgency to be fully Krishna conscious overnight. And even if we do, still, we have to do some work, produce food. So we should do that, show how people how to do that in Krishna consciousness. Make communities so that people can come and be Krishna conscious. Why not just run off to Radha Kund? Can we do it? Even if we can, we have to make facility for others. We'll see Krishna in the plants, how they're growing, the miracle. You put some seeds in the ground, and by Krishna's miracle, that becomes vegetables. They offer that to Krishna. That's very pleasing to Krishna. Prabhupada said it's more, and we can experience that ourselves. It's so much more pleasing to offer vegetables that we grow and cut and bring, then immediately cook and bring, then you go and buy them in Walmart or something. It's so much more, we ourselves feel it's so much more pleasing to offer this to Krishna. And Krishna himself is pleased by that. That's devotion. Planting the seed, caring for the plant, all the time thinking this is to be offered to Krishna. So it's a whole meditation.
Rajam, what is the difference in sinful reactions when offering meat to Goddess Kali versus not offering the meat? The Vedas give allowance to meat eating via yajna. What is the meaning of this allowance? What does this allowance entail?
The allowance is a restriction that you can only offer once a month or less. So it's a restriction. Still there's sinful reaction, but you don't do it every day. That's one thing. So in that way it restricts the sinful reaction. And also by following the Vedic process, the sin is less. Because you're following the Vedic direction, the sin is less. Apart from that, this process it instills the consciousness that there are higher powers I have to submit to. It instills the consciousness that I should follow the Vedic directions. And by saying the mantra, that now I am killing you, in future you will kill me, it's supposed to, now I'm going to eat your flesh, and in future you will eat mine, it should instill some sense of discrimination in someone who's doing this. So it's a calculated process for people who are very sinful by nature. Yeah, you have a question also? Okay.
It seems like it's very hard to change one's nature, like coming from like even now, like when we were still karmis and now trying to be devotees, and that seems to often pose, because of that nature, pose difficulties in devotional service. And even when you try to change it, it seems like you can do it for some time, but it always seems to like drag you back.
Vidhi bara balavan, Narottam Das Thakur says. Shunile na shune kan. We hear, but we don't hear. Yeah.
So how? Because it's like you again and again, but again, it's just like you can start to see.
Yeah, again and then again and again, we have to apply ourselves to the process. Krishna's mercy is stronger than Maya. Maya is very strong. Daivi esha gunamayi mama maya duratyaya mameva ye prapadyante. Maya metam tarantite. Maya is very strong, but Krishna is stronger. So the Sharanagati is the surrendering process. We can do it. Vita raga vayakroda manmaya mamupashritaha. Bahavo jnana tapasa puta madbhavamagataha. These material attachment is very difficult to overcome. Fear, anger, these are all these tendencies are very difficult to overcome. But it is possible to overcome them, and many have done so in the past, Krishna says, and attained to me by taking shelter of me in the parampara system. So yeah, it's difficult, but by Krishna's mercy we can do it. We have to apply ourselves to the process. Is another common question, framed in various ways.
Guru Maharaj, we saw in the 70s there were so many more young people joining as full-time devotees, brahmacharis, brahmacharinis. Nowadays it seems a little more difficult, or I'm not really sure. What do you think maybe is the difference, or what can be done to encourage more young people? It seems like people would just join and just hear about it and join right away and become full-time, whereas now it seems pretty rare.
Oh, that's a big topic of discussion. It seems to me there is good possibility for many people to join, but there's a mood and atmosphere has to be made like that. I spoke about that in the series of talks I gave. Why is this gone? Young, up-and-coming professionals. The next generation was very materialistic, interested in getting a lot of money. So there were various factors. But now is a very good time, it seems. And if we had our farms, so many people would come. Even without farms, people can come and join. We need farms. People will come. They're interested. Men and women. There's great scope. We have to make the facility. And like I say, make an atmosphere. Most people don't even know there's a possibility of any such thing to join. That's why this doing regular daily Harinam Sankirtan, it's great. Apart from purifying the atmosphere, it lets people know we're here and there's something going on. Otherwise they might not know at all. So it's a whole package. We have book distribution, we have temples, we have Harinam Sankirtan, we have farms. We have to build up momentum. Yeah, okay. Any question from the ladies' side? Yeah, we have two hands there. How many mics do we have? Two. Okay. That one there? That's not recording. That is, okay. All right.
I have heard devotees say things like, if somebody eats your leftovers from your plate, then you collect their karma if they eat from your muchi plate. Is that true?
Yes.
Maharaj, when in association with devotees, how can we develop a level of respect for devotees in their various natures and where they're at in their Krishna conscious journey while avoiding fault finding?
Then we have to come to the philosophical or the platform of understanding. Everyone who comes to Krishna is precious. Develop, yeah, it may not happen overnight.
Hare Krishna. So I hear a lot about advancing in Krishna consciousness, and I hear a lot of consciousness.
But you don't see it? It's all phantasmagoria, is it?
And my question is, when we talk about maintaining material life, part of my question is, how can you advance while maintaining a material life, and how do you know you're advancing in Krishna consciousness?
How can you advance while maintaining material life? You mean if you're in a situation like, you're working in a job, something like that? Yeah, well, you can advance, do sadhana at home, and make time for sadhana. Follow, as much as we follow, that much we can advance, whatever situation we're in.
Do humans always pray to Krishna when they're in the womb?
No, not in every case. Not everyone in the womb prays to Krishna. That's described in the third canto, that someone who's pious and has that previous life propensity, they may pray to Krishna in the womb. Not everyone. Not every human child in the womb prays to Krishna. Okay. Any more from that side? Otherwise, bring the mic back.
Guru Maharaj, in the Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhava, Guru Maharaj, in the rapid expansion section, there you were mentioning that, you write that Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said Kurukshetra is, separation, the separation is high, but higher than that.
Well, the possibility of service there is greatest.
And then you write that Alalanath, that's twice as much, Dvigunita Vipralamba Kshetra. And then the third, you said, is Kanya Kumari. Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said that that's triple.
I have to read that book because people keep on asking me questions. It's a long time since I worked on it, and I don't remember it all, actually. I remember Kanya Kumari, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said the deity looks like the Gauranga deity at Sri Chaitanya Math. Hmm? Yeah, well, that I remember. Maybe because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is so far away. I don't remember exactly. Chaitanya, the Kanyakumari is the end of the world. There's no further place than that to go except the Vivekananda Rock, as is now called. As it's now called.
Just some stupid rock.
Just off, it's just, 100 meters off the coast. The temple of Kanyakumari is right at the seashore, just at the end. And about 100 meters off there's a rock, where now there's some statue. People go out on a boat, and naturally I didn't go there. But yeah, although actually, traditionally, Setubandha is taken as the end of that's out of the four directions, that's taken as the south. And that's where the Mahodadi meets the Ratnakara, the two oceans meet, and you can see what's called in English the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea. You can see them meeting together. So that's Setubandha, the place where Ram made the bridge. That literally means bridge making, Setubandha. Which is also not directly connected with the great landmass of Bharata, because it's on a small island. Anyway, this is all what this Bhakti talking about, like a book, Partik Bhugol, spiritual geography. That was among his wishes, to make such a book. And there are thousands of holy places all over India which are not even very well known. Just like now it's a suburb of Salem in Tamil Nadu, but previously it was just outside the town. There is Ayodhya Patanam, which is a place of Lord Ram's pastimes, but it's in the oral tradition. It's not in Ramayana. There's so many places like that.
If I remember correctly, it says that the gopis worship.
I can't say. I'd have to read it and think about it again.
Maharaj,
Because like I say, I'm out of touch. People ask me questions. I have to read the book itself. There's so many profound things in there, but I don't remember that. It's like chock-a-block. Every line there's something so profound. I mean, what you're talking about, that Kurukshetra is more of a place of separation than Vrindavan. Only people with very small, constricted consciousness worship Vrindavan. Those who are really in the know, they worship Kurukshetra. Oh, wait a minute, Kurukshetra is just a place of piety, Dharma Kshetra, and that's the place of Bhagavad Gita. It's typical of the kind of thing Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati used to sing. Sridhar Maharaj said, I heard that, I felt like I just fallen out of a tree. So I listened very carefully to what else was going to be said. And then on top of that you have Alalanath, and then on top of that you have Kanyakumari, which is a place where you wouldn't think it's a place for Vaishnavas to go at all, except that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there. It's a place of Durga deity. What's she doing down there? She was born up in in the Himalaya. She's also known as Vindhyavasini. So that's halfway from Himalayas. And she got married in Madurai. How did she get down to Kanyakumari? I don't remember. I must have heard of that.
Something like she's angry with Lord Shiva.
Maybe sometimes she runs away, and there's no further place to run, so that's the end of the world. It may be.
You write that because they worship Katyayani, the gopis worship Katyayani, that moon. So like, that it just like I stopped understanding after
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I don't know what like to think of.
Certain gopis worship Katyayani, the spiritual form of Katyayani. It is all very complex. I think most devotees here can't follow this at all. You have to be deep into Hindu philosophy to understand all these things.
And even in instances on his farm communities, some devotees thought they would get chastised for having equipment out there, such as tractors and so forth. Especially in the West, it seems like taking on a lot of austerities of simple living may be overwhelming.
Sure, simple living has its austerities, that's for sure. Srila Prabhupada said that machines could be used in the beginning. Just like, for instance, if you have land which is completely overgrown, it would make sense to first clear it with a bulldozer, for instance. Austerities. But we don't realize how much austerity we have to go through to maintain the conveniences. To have electric lights and central heating, piped hot water, air conditioning, fans and all these kind of things. You have to go and work in some miserable job. You live on the farm and just produce what's needed, and then you save time for Krishna consciousness, and you live with devotees, and you become Krishna conscious. So there are pros and cons. But the great advantage of living on a devotee farm is that you associate with devotees 24 hours a day. So if you can accept one kind of austerity, you can have the facility of having a situation which is conducive for advancing in Krishna consciousness. Okay, we'll finish there. We'll sing Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha to finish. That tradition, I don't know if anyone knows this anymore, but traditionally in Bengal, they'd finish up programs like this by singing that. Doesn't have to be, but you can sing it. Put it up. Hare Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Hare Nama Krishna Jadavaya Namaha. Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Madana Mohan. Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Sita Hari Guru Vaishnava Bhagavata Gita. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath. Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath. H.I. Goshai Kori Charana Bandhan. Jaha Hoite Bigna Nash Abhishta Puran. H.I. Goshai Jamu Itaradan. Shabar Pada Renu Mora Panchagra Tadera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanebai Janame Janame Mar He Abhilash Choi Gosai Jabe Broje Koilo Bash Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Karila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majayama Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Kariya Nama Sankirtan Kare Narottamada Haraye Nama Krishna Jadavai Nama Haraye Nama Krishna Jadavai Nama Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Wonderful.
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. His Holiness Bhakti Vikasa Swami Maharaj ki jai.
Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotarasata Sri Srimad A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagacharya Ashtotarasata Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada ki jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopika Shyama Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhana ki jai. Vrindavan Dham ki jai. Navarid Dham ki jai. Ganga Mai ki jai. Yamuna Mai ki jai. Bhakti Devi ki jai. Tulasi Devi ki jai. Samaveta Bhaktavrinda ki jai. Go Premanande! Haribol! All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.